What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out.
Over the weekend, on Saturday, we had covered Carlee Russell, the missing woman who was missing since Thursday, was found on, I believe it was Sunday morning. So we know that she went missing on Thursday. Everybody who's been following the story, and she was returned home on Saturday night. So it was Saturday evening, and this. We kept it in the news, so we know that we were wanting to know what was going on with her. It was a 2-day, of course, statewide search for Carlee Russell, 25-year-old missing woman from Alabama. And so what we knew at the time was that she was missing. There was a child that she allegedly saw after coming home from work, grabbing something to eat. On the way home, she seen a child, and she pulled over to see if the child was safe, called 911, and then called a family member, only to for police officers to arrive at the scene 3 minutes after she was abducted or snatched, missing, disappeared. Her wig was left behind, her belongings were left behind, and her car was left behind. And so that's what we know. They say on Thursday night, and this is according to the police department, and this is in their statement, she went missing, of course, and in the Birmingham area, they said she stopped to check on the child. Okay. And she called her brother's girlfriend who heard Carlee ask the child, but there was no response from the child if they were okay. And so the car was still running. Wig, phone, and purse, Apple Pod, AirPods were still at the scene. So her boyfriend took to social media when she was found, after she was found, and released a statement on Instagram where he stated that she was fighting for her life for 48 hours. He also mentioned a kidnapper, but police have not confirmed whether they believe a kidnapper was involved. So in this Forbes article, they point out the amount of money, which was the award, which was $63,000. That's about how much the reward money was raised by the nonprofit Crime Stoppers of Central Alabama for anybody who had clues into Russell's disappearance. Following her return, the money has now been sent back to the donors. Okay, so I want people to be clear. The money has been sent back to the donors. So Bob Kopis, executive director of Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama, told AL.com that Hoover police aren't requesting any payouts on this case. Okay, so this is what I'll just stop there with. And it's unknown where she's been. Okay. And police have yet to release anything else. They say that they were able to take some statements from her, Carlee Russell, as of what was going on, and to have it as a part of their investigation. And so we are expected to find out what's to come, or what happened, or more information over the next few days. The Russell family asked for privacy and had promised to give more details in the near future. That's what they said, in the near future. So I say all of that to say, immediately, social media is so fickle.
So fickle.
And whether or not the story changes, something comes out, social media is so fickle. Okay. We went from, first and foremost, let me just do something positive real quick before I go into dragging folks. Shouts out to digital media for keeping this story hot and for forcing mainstream media to keep it in the rundown, to keep it as the top story. Okay. To keep it as one of the hard news stories that were needed to be at the forefront. In the headlines, everything. We did that. Even if it was 5 people on your platform to 1,000 to whatever, we kept this story going because we understand that there's a huge juxtaposition to how white missing people, white missing girls, women, are portrayed in the media, and Black missing women, you hardly ever hear about it. Like to the point where somebody could be missing and it's just another story.
Yep.
And not another story that doesn't get told. We
Mm-hmm.
know that in mainstream media, our stories don't get told. We're missing it in the case either goes cold or nobody talks about it. And we just move on to our next puppy story. Right? And so I'm glad that we were able to keep this Black woman and what may or may not have happened to her like just the fact that we were able to get this. So, and I would say if it wasn't for us to keep this so popular, maybe as we, if what happened to her, wouldn't have happened to her where she was let go. Right. We're still waiting on, the details, but here is what I don't like. Immediately on social media, we have everyone. And I think that we have to understand where we come from with this. So this is like, let's have these conversations at the dinner table, but let's not bring it in where other people can infiltrate it, because we already know who is leading these type of conversations. And to me, when I go online, the first people that I see leading these conversations are people who are saying it's a hoax. Remember those white platforms immediately when she was missing? It's saying that it was a hoax.
Yep.
She's not missing.
Of course.
It was a lie. And now we're looking at where we are now with the story where she has been found. And I'm watching the same people who were saying, oh my goodness, sex trafficking or, human trafficking. And people are so crazy in the world. We got to protect our Black women, move their conversation pieces and their think pieces to, was she really missing?
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to do that in your headline so that you can get the views and have those type of conversations. But it already, people do not believe us. You can't go from believe Black women to exactly what these white supremacists have been doing, saying online. We're not worth the belief. We're not worth anybody really listening to our voice. We're not worth actually having a conversation about. Now, I don't know what happened to this woman, but I think that we should have focused on, okay, she's safe. We will get the details, but because we feel so obligated in this space,
oh man,
we feel like we need, this woman was analyzed in the hospital and brought home to her family. Can she get a breather, please? Can she take a nap? Can her family love on her? We don't know what happened. And immediately we are seeing all these negative things. Let's see what happened first. And you guys, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you right now, whether or not the story is on this side or on this side, I still think it's a disservice to immediately run to social media, because you will never hear that about a white woman. A white woman was missing for God knows how long.
Yep.
And we will believe their story. And we will go searching for 90 days. We will go do whatever we want. And the whole time she was over there and trying to fake her death so she can move on from her husband.
Yep.
We hear these stories, or we hear so much about these people making decisions and their lives being covered because it's a young white blonde-headed girl or whatever, a woman who's missing, and they will cover it every single day until, it starts to die out. But Black women don't even get considered in the news cycle for whatever reason. Other than being Black. Real. Yes. So watch how and I don't even like seeing these conversations being led by Black women in the social media space. Let the story come out first and let's have the conversation. But I don't want y'all to utilize that to say that all Black women are lying. It's crazy to me. I don't like it. Bubba, go ahead.
Yeah. And I was about to say, it happened where it just seems like you said it best. We gave all this coverage to this white woman that disappeared. And I'm talking about everybody and their mama covered it. Everybody and their mama covered it and kept it out there. But when it comes to Black people missing, never got this much coverage. So because of us, us skin folk, and how we always cover everything because we know Black people don't get the attention like we should. We went through and we did all of that. If you really think about it, we reposted, we reshared, we made sure this story stayed in the news. And I really think it's one of those things, the heat got so hot that they said, okay, we're going to let her go.
Yeah.
Or whatever happened, it happened. But I'm just glad that it did keep the attention of the country. And I just hope that when this happens to other people of color, that we get this same amount of energy as well too. And I know they just said that there's an interview. The parents just did an interview. I think David has a clip, Rebecca,
Okay,
if you want to
let's
look at
take a
that as
look.
well too.
Yeah, let's take a look at the latest developments in the Carlee Russell disappearance.
The parents of the woman who vanished for 48 hours after calling police to report a toddler walking alone down the highway. Well, they are speaking out in an exclusive interview. NBC's Priscilla Thompson spoke with them. She joins us now.
The family is urging the public not to speculate, saying that it's upsetting to Carlee, and right now their focus is on her physical and mental well-being.
That moment you all first laid eyes on her again, what was it like?
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's okay.
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running, all her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, people don't understand and realize that I really think it's one of those things that the abductor was like, the heat is too hot. It's too much going on, and I'm not going to be able to go anywhere. And we need to let this woman go because we don't want that pressure. And everybody, I know a lot of people are asking about what about the child. Y'all have to understand these traffickers out here, human traffickers, they would go any ways and means to get what they want. So if that means using a child to put out there on the side of the road and use them as bait for the time being, they're going to do it, regardless of who it was that pulled up. At this point, it may have been one of those things that Carlee was at wrong place, wrong time, where she was the one that saw that child. So these things can happen. These things can really happen, y'all. And in Alabama, everybody's asking how nobody saw that. Those are back roads in Alabama, y'all. They are desolate. I'm from Alabama. Those roads are desolate as hell sometimes. So depending on what time it is, there would have not been anybody that would have saw anything.
Yeah. And what's funny is social media, and it sucks because this is where social media it's great. We kept it in the media. I love it. Like I said, shouts out to everybody who decided not, as soon as we heard about this Black woman missing, we made it a part of our top news stories. Okay. Yeah. If not the first news stories on our platforms because we know how important it is when it comes to a Black woman missing, abduction, sex trafficking, whatever. Get that story out there because we know mainstream media may just allow it to die down. A Black woman is not considered as important. That's not important. A missing Black woman, who cares? What's the angle? Not the fact that there's a missing Black woman. The parents decided to get on air and just, they got their daughter back. That is a rarity.
Yeah.
You don't find that. They got their daughter back. Let us find out what happened before we make these accusations. We don't know what state that woman's mind is in. Not only her mother, not only her father, but the person that went through whatever they went through. And because we are such a microwave society right now, I even sometimes have to get on myself, like you said, speak to the person inside.
Yeah.
Because I find myself as well, like, now information. Now I need it when I need it, when I want it, when I need it, when I want it. Not thinking about, and then I was reading an article yesterday. I'm like, okay, we haven't gotten any updates. But then I told myself, Rebecca, if you were in that situation for whatever that woman had went through, whatever the story may be, your parents finally found you or didn't know, all they could think about is my daughter is dead. Where's my daughter?
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, wouldn't you have, or whatever may have happened to you mentally or whatever, wouldn't you just have wanted to just chill for a second? Would you want everybody in your stuff? We just want people immediately, because they did not get any information, they started to create their own. Then I ain't even talking about back in the day, you used to have to find conspiracy on the backwoods on whatever page or go to the get the tabloid newspaper. Now you get it within 2 seconds. They said they found her in 2 seconds. Well, why? She ain't saying nothing. Why we ain't getting no clips of it? Why this? Why that? Well, I believe, and it's pages that have millions of followers who are spreading misinformation. This is not just to people who like to read tabloid. No, they're spreading misinformation on these platforms with their large platforms. No kind of correct attributes, nothing. They are going and spreading this information solely off of what they feel should have been done and what they feel happened. Didn't speak to any experts on the situation. Nothing. Just what their spirit is making them feel because they didn't receive the information in time, in a timely manner.
They want it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we can't do that. It's a disservice to our Black community when we're already trying to get our stories told. And then for our own people to be leading the charge. I went down my Facebook because Facebook is where you can see all your old friends from the crib. And I was watching how they were leading conversations. And they were like, okay, that y'all really believe that girl really got abducted. Or y'all really believe that girl, she needed to just come out and say what happened with her. She needed to, whatever even happened to her, I just want her to heal first. I just want her to take a nap first. I really do. I want her to be able to be with her family and just go through that first before whatever happened to her comes out. I think she deserves that. And I also, again, I'm proud of everybody. I'm proud of us for keeping this in the news cycle. So let's keep the charge going and protect her mind right now as because the investigators are going to give us a story.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. They're going to give us all the facts and everything.
I don't like the police officers, but in this case, they trying to figure out something. And we're going to get that story.
And especially because all the attention of the country is on them right now. Alabama is the type of state where they're going to try to make stuff right, especially if they're being watched like they're being watched. Yeah. And then looking on that dark interstate, it would be difficult for anybody to see a child on that street, man. Everybody keeps asking, what about the child? Y'all don't understand. These people are crazy, man. They do not care about kids. It's people here in Atlanta locking their kids in the closet and just keeping them there while they're dead. So if you think they're not going to just leave a toddler on the side of the road to use as bait, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
This is damn America, and people are sick as hell.
Yeah.
You got to understand that and realize that.
Yeah. So again, we're just going to watch. I have nothing to say as the news comes out. And God forbid it's another story or whatever the case may be, I still will not like I am not somebody who is going to utilize any platform to add fuel to fire when it comes specifically, especially to Black women. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We already get enough flack. I will call people out. I will hold people accountable. But when it comes to like, I cannot. I'm not going to get on that train. That's why I haven't said much on my social media platforms regarding her, except for I'm
Absolutely.
glad that she's home.
Right.
Let's keep it there until we get more information. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no, we can do another story. I'm actually, we can do another story. So, man, that kind of made me a little
Yeah. And so
sad.
like I don't think it's one of those things of you got to understand we don't know who was working with the abductor or who was with the abductor. It could have been a woman with the child and say, hey, we're going to use your child and put her out here. It's not like, hey, we're going to kidnap you, make a baby, and then use that baby. No. You got to understand there's multiple people that are involved in these things, man. Human trafficking is a huge issue in this country.
Yeah.
And especially in between Georgia, Alabama, and Florida.
Yeah. Let's just wait. Okay. I know
Yeah,
we've been impatient.
I'm ready to see what everything is going to come out of
I'm
this.
anxious too. But y'all, listen. You were living your life before the situation, and you're not gonna die as they continue to investigate, and you're not gonna die because we still are trying to figure out what happened in that car with Terrence from BET when he crashed the car with that girl in it. We ain't never found out. We do not know what happened in the elevator with Beyonce and Solange. And y'all are all right with that. So in this situation, let's give that girl some grace. Let the investigators do what they need to do. Because they gonna ride for Beyonce. We don't need to know. She can be, and she no. Yeah. Chill.